Hi guys, and welcome back to Clausewitz. So I wanted to run through each kind of phase that the game has. So I wanted to start with the scouting phase, which is the very first phase of the game. And the scouting phase kind of determines where everyone deploys. So each army gets to start with 5 chips, and that can be increased if you have units in your army list that have the special rule deployment marker. Each unit in your army list that has that special rule will grant you an extra chip. So usually you might have 4 or 5 extra markers here, so you might end up with 9 markers that you can place around on the battlefield. So as you can see before me, I've got some red chips and I've got some blue chips. Now these represent the 2 players' armies, and to determine in what order we're going to place them, the 2 players will roll off. So you can see I've got a blue dice and a red dice, so let's just roll these, and it's a tie, so let's roll again. And the blue player gets to decide, so the blue player is deciding to place their chips first. Now chips move at 30 centimeters a turn, and they have to be either 30 centimeters from a table edge or 30 centimeters from another chip. So they start on the table edge, so the very first turn is you just placing a chip on the table edge, and then it's the next player's go, who does likewise. Now the players continue. They can either choose to move this chip 30 centimeters in, so that's 30 centimeters from the table edge, or they can put another marker along the board edge. So in this case, I think the French player is just going to put one over here. Now once an enemy marker and a friendly marker get to within 30 centimeters of each other, those markers are locked in place and can no longer move. So you probably want to try and grab as much land as you can before you get locked in place. So we're just going to place some chips along the board. So the players are just kind of alternating, making sure that they can grab as much as they can. So we started out, and the French player will probably go first. So let's move 30 over to here. And the blue player can do the same, and the red player can do the same. And let's go 30 over here. Let's just check some of the distances. Too far away from that edge, but we're fine to that edge, and likewise. So now it's the blue player's turn. Let's go over here. You can measure as much as you want. You can measure before and after you've moved. It's probably a good idea to put like a marker where your chip was before you move it. It's just so that if you want to move it back, you can do. And you can pre-measure, like I say, and you can measure to any points on the battlefield just to make sure that you've got the chip exactly where you are before the next player turns over. So let's do one of these. And I think we'll move this one. So here the blue player has decided to move this chip further in. So although it's like 50 odd centimeters from the table edge, it's still only within 30 centimeters of this chip, which is also 30 centimeters from the table edge. So this is a legal move at the minute, and we're still around half a meter away from any other chip, so it's not too much of a problem at the minute. So the red player, seeing that, probably wants to counter that a bit and try and get up here to stop them coming any closer to his table edge. Blue player can do the same. Right, here we're going to have to do some finicky picking. So let's just put that down there. I think it was roughly there. Let's do some measurements. 28.7, so we're 1.3 too far. Just moving back. So the red player decided before anything happens, he's going to try and lock that one in place so it can't move any further towards their own line. Obviously if you're doing this in real life, you're going to have a bit more more to control than you do with this. Oh, still 0.6 away. Right. I'm just going to roughly estimate this. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So these two now are locked in place and they cannot move anymore. So what we're going to do now is the French players probably want to go to lock down this part here. So let's move this one to here, 16.9, just check what our distances are. .28.2, so we need to point 1.8 back. Let's go here. Close enough. And it's a little bit outside of the 30 centimeters there, but it's 30 centimeters to that one, and just over that one. So we're going to have to keep this one around here to keep these two linked. So at the moment, these two blue ones are locked, but the red player probably can't go around here and take any more land. So here we're going to move. We're going to have to move this one, I think, to keep everything in cohesion. Let's move this one up to here. And then let's move this one to here. We'll move over here. Now this one's going to be a bit tricky because I have to make sure that I am within 30 centimeters of here, which I'm slightly out. So let's just grab that and move it back a bit. Oh, I know what I'm doing, honestly. You can see that I'm not great with Tabletop Simulator at the minute. I'm still learning. 28.4, 27.5, 27. So we're just a little bit too far from that one. I think that's more like it. Fine, fine, that'll do. Fine. So there's a nice chain going from the edge of the board up to here. So at the minute, the British got these two locked down and the French got those two locked down. So we know that we're getting there. So now it's the French player's turn, and I think what we're going to do is grab this one and just sling it up here. Don't need to worry about being at 30 centimeters or anything because we're definitely 30 centimeters of the edge. And likewise, I think the British are going to do the same over here. And then let's go with I think we won't get too far here because I think we have to stay 24, go a little bit further. That'll do. Let's check these. Yeah, outside. British player is going to. What is our centimetre distance here? So as long as this one stays here, let's go. Let's check some of our distances. Yep. Yep. Just outside. Just outside. So we're okay at the minute. So French player is going to go over here, do that, and I think what we'll do is we'll get this one and we'll go over here. Oh, you know what I didn't check just then was the distance between the French and the British, so let's just check that now. Oh, we're going to say those two are locked. So those two are locked and these four are locked. So that minute this one's active, that one's active, and these two are active, I believe. Yep. So let's just grab this one and just try and lock that French one in position. a bit too far. Let's go back here. Still too far. That'll do. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So what we've done now is that one's locked, and both sides only have one marker left that they can use. So the French player is going next, and he has to kind of keep this one in between the other two, because that's where he's stupidly kind of get everything messed up. So he's just moving this one forwards and probably just lock this one into contact with there. So just go forward a bit more. Get to about there, and 28.4, it's 1.6. That's probably about right. That'll do. So blue player has this one to move, but he has to kind of stay within 30 centimeters, so we can get to there, which would be fine, and that point would be just over 30 from here and just over 30 from there. Let's grab this one and just move up. We're okay so far. I can still move it a little bit further. And I think we're locked in place now. Yeah. And that is that. So, if I go from above, that is our deployment zone. So the British basically get to go from here, straight line, and they can deploy up to here on this section. But over here, the French made a bit of an advance, so the British can probably only deploy up to about this line here. And the French have been pushed back a bit here, and so on and so forth. So if I was deploying my units now, again, we'd decide that because the British were the last to deploy, they get +1 on their roll. So let's roll the dice. So the British get 4 and the French get 3, and the British will let the French deploy their first unit. So let's see what we've got. So we've got 2 brigades of 3 line infantry, 1 brigade of 2 line infantry, a artillery piece, and a heavy cavalry. So, oh, and the general, of course, you've got the general. These are ADCs which you use to transfer orders, as I have previously explained. So what we're going to start with, I think, is we'll start with this unit here, and we're going to put them close to here. We're going to just move them up there, and the British go, and seeing that they're going to get a strong brigade, and let's plonk it here. I'm going to put some cannon down. Let's go back a bit because that's within 30 centimeters. Let's just check. Yep. And I think you would have objectives as well normally, but in this case we're just going to play a game and plonk them down. And let's go with the French line infantry. There's quite a lot of here, so let's put these ones over to the side here. And I think we'll use our cavalry to, let's just get them supported at the minute. The French can do that. Not sure where they're going to put there. Let's put there. Put a stronger unit there to try and combat these French. And we'll put this one up here. Let's check we're 30 centimeters away. A bit too close. Okay. And I'll put my general down. Probably want to put him somewhere fairly central so we can distribute his orders. And the same for him. I'm actually going to put this one over here. And there you have it. That's deployment. So we're ready to start the game. So all you would do now is remove the chips and start your battle. So I hope you've enjoyed the game. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do like and subscribe, and maybe hit that bell notification so you know when I next upload a video. I'll be doing more of these. The next phase I will start doing a little battle, so you can see how the game works. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you again next time. Thanks.